Another 1v1, this time it is for the lady, as we play as Bretonnia against the Dark Elves. Let's take a look at our army we've got going here today. So, I typically don't like playing Bretonnia because I suck at them, but again, in my new, I guess, turn of phrase here, in order to get better things, I have to play the things I suck the most at. So, we can see a lot of peasant archers throughout the center here. That's going to be one of the bigger parts of our army. They have pox arrows, so it can slow down some of the faster moving units of the Dark Elves. In addition to that, they can really put a punishing on any Witch Elves, any Sisters of Slaughter. That's really their main target here, because those two units will eat up our infantry. Now, speaking of our infantry, we have a nice good front line of foot squires. Foot squires are great units. They are great sword infantry, so they'll do AP, they'll do anti-infantry against a lot of the Dark Elf front line. That's going to be used to great effect. They will lose in a trade-off against any kind of not sword masters of Hoeth, I'm sorry, executioners from Harganeth, or the sisters of the, the Blaze of the Blood Queen. Now, in addition to that, we have two units of peasant mobs that are kind of pushing out in the front here. This one back here is taking a little time to catch up. And then a unit of men-at-arms. Once this all ranks up, I'll show you kind of how we're using this. But we also have some men-at-arms with polearms and some nice units of Knights of the Realm and 2 units of Knights Errant. Let's go ahead and go into normal speed. I want this to kind of get up to its unit formation. Then we'll pause it and I'll talk about what I've done here. Also, in addition to that, we have 2 nobles on Pegasi, I suppose, and a Fey Enchantress here, just bringing all that healing that she can. She does have Earthblood, she does have Regrowth here, and she also has her lovely Chalice of Potions. That'll be really good for any of the backline that we deal with. Now, taking a look real quick here. I'm sorry, I've got 3 total units of Knights. 2 of them are Knights of the Realm, and 1 of them are the Defenders of the Fleur de Lis. Now, what I'm really doing here is I've got a nice front line of the foot squires, and I've spread things out so they can have a little bit more map control. You can't pass through them very easily, but you do have to kind of go around them. Now, the big thing is this unit of swordsmen, they're used as kind of reserve. They are behind our archers, and we're going to push them up these pockets as needed in the engagement. So if this unit starts to buckle, we'll push them 1 or 2 of these, or this unit or this unit. We can kind of pick and choose how they go. In addition, we can defend our backline with these men-at-arms with polearms, or even push them into pockets as needed, or help guard flanks, or help screen out any cav charges from the left and right while helping with the Knights of the Realm. The Knights are purely defensive in this build. They're not meant to just kind of get up close and personal down the line and just do a lot of harrying. Now let's take a look at our opponent here as I put this into normal speed. He does have a nice good front line here of the great standard infantry. He's got some Dread Spears, some Bleak Swords. He's got 2 units of Blackguard Corsairs. I'm sorry, 1 unit of Blackguard Corsairs with the Sisters of Slaughter. Then 4 units of the Dark Shards. 2 units of Cold One Knights here on the left flank, and then on his right flank, sneaking through the trees, he's got 2 units of Dark Riders. Now he has a Supreme Sorceress here, just kind of hanging out. A Supreme Sorceress is of Shadow here. She's got Enfeebling Foe and the Pit of Shades, as well as an Opal Amulet to get that damage resistance, and Arcane Conduit. Oh, I'm sorry, and Melkoth Mythfying Miasma. Now, Harganeth Executioner is pushing down the front line. These guys are going to be a real great target initially, but what we're doing here right off the bat is using those peasant mobs to help screen out those Cold One Knights. We want to make sure we can mitigate that charge as best we can and do it on our own terms. Remember, guys, Knights of the Realm do have their nice, lovely anti-large bonus, so they're great at taking out opposing cavalry. Now, Knights of Errant, on the other hand, typically have a... I thought Knights Errant had a anti-infantry. I guess I was wrong. But still, Knights Errant, in this case, will help with that as well, to kind of just help mitigate cav charges, help push through the front of the line here as needed. You can see we're starting to trade a lot of missile fire. Dark Shards just pouring into this unit of Peasant Bowman Archers. Getting just some nice screenplay, trying to push onto these flanks. Chalice of Potions is coming down to do some hammering. Look at these nice, plumped up unit of Dark Shards. They are just going to be beautiful for that opening, glorious Fey Enchantress vagina in the sky. Bring down your love. And... here it comes. Now, the Chalice of Potions is really great in this case. I wanted it exclusively to harass and do damage to backline units such as this. that really taking that long to actually drop? Do I have to actually go up and press the, like, oh, there it goes. To do backline damage to units like this, it can be used against artillery pieces, but I really wouldn't. I would use it more on individual units like this. Like, look at the damage it just did. Dropped a huge amount of damage under this unit of Dark Shards. Oh, look at that destructive capability. Take that for the lady. It's back to normal speed. Sorry for the anticlimactic slowdown there. I thought it would have been way faster. Now, our pox arrows are doing great work on the bleak swords here, but we do have this opening up. Those Dark Riders pushing in through our backline. Real great on my opponent's ability to just kind of like thread through the line there. Peasant mobs coming out, pushing our Knights of the Realm into those Dark Riders as well. And we're going to push our nobles onto that Supreme Sorceress. It is in great position here. Pit of Shades ripping through my backline here. 3 units clumped up, just like his Dark Shards were clumped up. My Men-at-Arms and my Knights of the Realm are clumped up, so it's going to be a great use of it there. A little bit further would have been better, but still would have hit their units as well. Taking a look at our left flank, it has been compromised a little bit, but these hello Bretonnia, my bro, into these peasant mob, but that's okay. Gives us plenty of time to put our Men-at-Arms and pole arms up there. Now we do have our Knights of the Realm fighting these 2 units of Cold Wind Cavalry. Now Cold Wind Cav do mention, or one thing to mention, is that they are AP and anti-large. So while I'm doing anti-large, I'm not doing AP damage for my Knights Errant. So really going to not trade too well into this, but with these Men-at-Arms with pole arms, it should make it a lot better of a situation. Hello, Brona, getting all hog wild over there. Now taking a look over here, you can already see the damage that both of these nobles are putting into this sorceress. It's just so hard, hot, and heavy. Like, look at these guys. And by nobles, I mean paladins. Keep thinking I'm playing high elves. Their glowing swords going to town. Now the Swordmasters of Hoeth here, and Harganeth Executioners at the same time, are pushing into this unit of Foot Squires. So they're just trying to do whatever they can to help relieve the Supreme Sorceress. She is in a bad place, and she just barely squeezes out of that engagement, and she is shattered. Now, so as a full surround here, onto those Foot Squires, they're in terrible shape, so we're going to push up our reserves that we talked about, right? Into these pockets that have now been opened up in the front line, giving us some room. One thing I want to remark on is that my opponent did a really good job of keeping the Sisters of Slaughter, Sisters of the Singing Doom, in the back here. I keep calling them Sisters of Slaughter. He prevented me from shooting them down with my Peasant Bowmen, and I'll be honest, that was the initial target I had. As soon as I saw them on the battlefield, I wanted to kill them as fast as I could. Because as soon as they get into these units, they can tank them by making them rampage, and I won't be able to target them use them anymore. So, by keeping them out of range, he really effectively kept my archer units distracted from shooting at them. Now you can see here this engagement has been won out. We still have some Dread Spears to deal with, but we have 2 units of Men-at-Arms to firmly deal with them. And this left flank has been well supported by the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis and the Men-at-Arms to crush this unit of Coldwind Knights. Although this unit of Knights of the Realm did not fare too well with it. Bay Enchantress just kind of sitting pretty here, side saddling it. And there we go. You can see that the Rampage has kicked in for those Foot Squires, getting hit by the Sisters of the Singing Doom. The Sisters of the Singing Doom, though, are in return going to get hit with a ton of Archer Fire. Good call on my opponent for taking Dark Shards with shields, which are really good against Bretonnia just because Bretonnia can field so many cheap Peasant Bowman Archers. And really, Peasant Bowman Archers, 160 range is nothing to scoff at here. We still have our Paladins kind of in this fight here. Should be pushing those Men-at-Arms in there on a little lack of micro on my part. But you can see the Sisters of the Singing Doom are getting plucked with arrows. Men-at-Arms going to town on them. Oh, dude, one of my guys just caught his own arrow in the back. Oh, no. I'm hitting my own dudes again. Trying to put down these Cav engagements on the left here, getting those defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis in onto them. And the right flank is being won over as well. We do have one of our Paladins in bad shape. But as we push the rest of our reserves into it, we'll be just fine. Knights of the Realm crashing into these unbraced spearmen, sending them flying, tanking their morale, and winning out this right flank to help crush out these Dark Riders. Supreme Sorceress is now completely off the map. Another drop of the Palace of the Potion, the Chalice of Potion over there, doing firm damage into the back line of both these Harganeth Executioners and these Dread Spears. So you can see things are going pretty well now at this engagement. we've kind of got a firm grasp on things. Army losses kicked in, and we have won the day for Bretonnia. Let's take a look at that post-battle report here. So, taking a look, Nurgle's Herald, thank you very much for playing with me. I know you and I were chatting after the fact. Looking at Nurgle's Herald army, he did a really good job of bringing a lot of really good infantry. Maybe more Black Ark Corsairs, but at the same time, you can really run the risk of going too wide or too narrow into Black Ark Corsairs, and they just get killed too quickly by a lot of the tools that Bretonnia has against them. So they are very strong against the men-at-arms, but they are very weak against not gunfire, but any kind of archery or charges. So you have to be a little wary of them. But again, really good choice of just a nice solid front line. Hello Broni in there as well. The Hargoneth Executioners stayed in the fight a lot longer than I thought they were. They took a lot of initial damage, but they still hung on. And you can see the Dark Shards probably spent too much time firing on my archers. At the same time, though, my archers got a combined 84 kills. So even though they were firing initially onto this one unit, which neutralized this one, I think if you had just gone down the line picking off my archers, it would have been more advantageous than trying to focus on some of my weaker infantry elements, such as these men-at-arms or even the foot squires. The foot squires, while strong, they weren't the real basis for my army. I had layers of insulation built around them. But again, huge use of the Knights of the Realm to help screen out these cab charges. The Knights of the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis doing what they could to help out. Only 5 kills from the Fey Enchantress. I thought that the Chalice of Potions would put kills onto her, but it looks like it doesn't. So I'm not sure, unfortunately, how many kills we got from our Chalice of Potions. But the Paladins did great work of just deleting that Supreme Sorceress. They did get a little beat up in the ensuing melee, but that's okay. Their main job is just kind of being a beat stick to destroy the Supreme Sorceress was their main task. I could have probably pulled them off of the Supreme Sorceress once she died and focused more on the backline of the Dark Shards, or actually even push them over into helping out the cav fights. They do have anti-large on them and AP, so they can help pop that bubble pretty quickly. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching here today. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream of quick battles on the channel. We will be having our Warpstone Cup League starting next week, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to be streaming on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But guys, as always, thanks so much for watching here today. Plenty more content coming your way. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of action, and check out my Patreon. But have a good one and take care.